Hello, my name's Gwen. I make content on TikTok. I have autoimmune diseases. I'm chronically ill, a lot of stuff. And so I have been on medications for like a long time. I've dealt with a lot of psychiatric issues as well. And the other thing too is we didn't know that I was autistic. And so I dealt with a lot of misdiagnoses and people saying that my autistic symptoms were actually a trait of some other mental health condition, which is just not true. I've been on a lot of medications my entire life. I've been diagnosed with lots of things like OCD, which I actually do have, major depressive disorder, which I don't. I was just depressed because I wasn't, my needs weren't being met, and I was being invalidated and told that the things that I was experiencing were just like normal, or I was just quirky or weird. We thought something was wrong, but we just couldn't figure out what, So I've been diagnosed at this point with OCD, major depressive disorder with psychotic features, generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, bipolar 2, ADHD. And so those are the mental health conditions that I have been diagnosed with. And there might be more. I just can't think of them right this second. And we learned the panic disorder, those panic attacks are actually meltdowns. And so I've been on the same medications for quite a while now because I've seen multiple psychiatrists. And so they all have had kind of different opinions on what I'm dealing with. So the past few months have been really hard for me in general. I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of overstimulation, a lot of meltdowns, and we haven't really been able to identify like exactly what's going on other than, external circumstances. I'm not in like the most ideal living situation for myself right now. And I'm also, like the social climate that we're in right now is just super stressful, no matter who you are. And so it made sense that I was stressed out, but it didn't make sense that I was stressed out to the point where I was not acting like myself anymore. I was not capable of any real rational thought. Like I could even actually recognize that the thing I was doing was totally irrational, and I would be saying it while I'm having these meltdowns and saying, I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm so out of control. I would never do this. I saw a creator on TikTok actually describe it like this, and this is very true. Like you have to get out of your body. I thought that it would get better the more that I understood myself being autistic, the more I understood my meltdowns and like my triggers, and it unfortunately just like wasn't really getting much better. Some things were actually getting worse, and realistically like it was a huge toll on both me and my boyfriend and my family who I live with. It's exhausting, to be honest, to deal with this stuff and to not know if there's like an end in sight. The past few days, I've been feeling amazing. And the main difference is that I went off of a medication that I have been wanting to go off of for months. And I asked my psychiatrist to take me off of it. It's a migraine medication. And when I was originally prescribed it, I was getting so many migraines, but I also lived in an area that has a lot of pressure changes because we had a lot of rain. And that's something that triggers my migraines and still does here, even with that medication. At this point, I was barely ever having migraines, and other external circumstances had changed. And I explained all of this to my doctor, and she was like, I feel like you're just not having migraines because of the medication. And she wouldn't take me off of it. I'm going off the medication finally. It's night and day. I didn't take it for the few days, and I am an entirely different person. I feel like awake. I feel alive. I feel like I have a lot of energy. And this was something that I've been really struggling with for a long time now. And to know that it was potentially just a side effect of a medication I was on is simultaneously very exciting that I am realizing it, but also overwhelming and kind of sad that I could have just gone off this medication, particularly since I already wanted to. And so every time something like this happens where I feel really bad for a long time and then I end up feeling better, there's always a grieving process that comes with that, because it's hard to lose time to something that's out of your control, and to feel like you are missing out on things because you're not able to participate in the way that you would if you felt like yourself. I know that it's better to focus on what I can do and be excited that I'm finally awake, but at the same time, that doesn't take away the fact that it's really painful to kind of recount those past few months and see all the things that you did that you didn't have control over. It's overwhelming and it's sad, and it's okay to feel those things. Like, those feelings are so valid. And I think realizing that and allowing myself to have that grieving process, not being able to do certain things that I always thought I would, and having to come to terms with that. Going off of this medication has been pretty eye-opening. I think there's 2 lessons that I learned from this experience that I will pass along. And one of them is you should have a trusting relationship. And I am going to be changing doctors because unfortunately I don't feel heard there. I was also misdiagnosed by this doctor as well. They diagnosed me with bipolar, and then we found out I'm autistic. And I think the other thing is that while medication can be an amazing thing, and while I do think we need to destigmatize medication to the point where people feel comfortable going on it when they need it, we also still need to educate and be realistic about the fact that these medications they're changing things in our body, and that can sometimes come with negative side effects, and you might have to do a lot of trial and error if you end up on these medications. And again, I'm not saying that it isn't worth it. I've been on multiple medications for years now, and I would not be able to function at all without them. When I was off of them, I was hallucinating constantly. I was so overwhelmed and stressed all the time. There's certain medications that when I don't take it, I notice a negative impact. But with this one, it was just all positive. I felt so much better. I kind of needed to rant about this because I'm feeling so much, like, it is absolutely night and day how different I feel. So this is going to be my first video, I guess. Welcome. But yeah, I don't know if you have any experiences where you also went off of a medication and it kind of changed everything for you. I would love to hear about it. The medication I was on is Topiramate. Topamax is the brand name, if you're interested. And I hope that you enjoyed listening.